Hey, it's travelgigolo. We are back at Matamba Bush Camp, and this time we're staying at the exclusive Mara Bush site. From Joburg or Pretoria, north on the N1, take the Modimolle off-ramp, drive through to Valwater, there's a right turn to Lephalale, and it's about 30 kilometers, and you'll see the Matamba Bush Camp sign. So if you've seen a couple of my other videos on Matamba, you'll know that this is one of our favorite places to camp. Why Mara Camp in particular? Mara Camp's a bit more isolated from the other campsites. It doesn't have electricity, so it feels a little bit more off-grid, and it's an exclusive use camp, so it's a little bit more private than the other campsites on Matamba, which are still well spaced, but this is pretty much far away from everyone else. It's basically almost entirely tar road to get here, with the exception of a couple of kilometers of dirt road from the time that you leave the main road to Lephalale. And it's not a road that you need a 4x4 or anything like that to drive on. It's a dirt road, but it's in relatively good condition. On the site as well, all the roads are dirt roads, but you don't need a 4x4 to get here. Now, because Mara Camp is a little bit difficult to find, it's a little bit sort of windy to get to the campsite itself, and it's not by the main campsites. You do need the owners to give you assistance from the time you get to the gate to lead you through to the campsite. And as with all Matamba camps, once you've reached camp, no more driving. So park your car, put up your tent, and then you are free to walk or cycle or jog around the farm. The dirt roads within Matamba are a little bit sandy, but nothing that you can't go over with a typical sedan. You don't need any kind of special vehicle to drive within here to get to your campsite. Mara is the only off-grid campsite at Matamba. Not really off-grid, there's no electricity, and that's why it's off-grid. Otherwise, it does have many of the facilities, if not all of the facilities, that the other campsites have. This includes some really nice outdoor bathrooms. These are probably my favorite bathrooms of all the campsites that we've been to. Outdoor bathrooms, and they have flush toilets, running water, both hot and cold. The hot water is from a gas-fired system. Wash basins, of course, with hot water and cold water too. There are 2 bathrooms here. This is quite a large campsite, and you'll note that there are a couple of amenities that are in 2s, such as the bathrooms. There are no indoor closed built-up bathroom areas. They are only the outside bathrooms. The outside bathrooms though do have a barricade around them, so you can't see into the bathrooms from outside. The water here is potable, so you can drink it. There's a couple of taps on the site, and that is cold water. There's a washing up area as well, where you can wash your cutlery and so on. That has cold water, does not have hot water. So if you want to have hot water there, then you've got to make some hot water on your fire or your gas fire or something like that. There's a built-up fire pit as well. That's in the center of the site, which is quite nice from a social point of view. It's quite a large camping site. It's nice to have that built-up fireplace right in the center of the site that you can sit around and braai and socialize, and it really adds to this bush feeling, or this feeling of being out in the bush. The fire pit does come with a grill, so you can do your braaiing on the grill. There's a smotherer on the site as well, or a smotherer at the fire pit, which we really like. This is one of those nice little features about Matamba that we really enjoy, is that when you go to bed, you don't have to worry about your fire being on and all the rest of it, and you've just got a nice little drum there that you can put over the fire that smothers the fire, and you can go to bed with peace of mind. So it does get fairly dry here in the winter time, and there are a couple of fire beaters on the site just in case you get into a situation with a potential fire in the grass. Fire is potentially a hazard around here in the dry months of the year, so you've got to be very careful with how you handle your campfire and any other flames on the site. In addition to the fire beaters, there's also a bucket which you can use to put out a fire if it occurs, and in addition to that, of course, you can use it to cart hot water to the wash basin station, which doesn't have hot water, as I said earlier. There are 2 dustbins on the site. There's a good amount of shade on the campsite. There's quite a few relatively large trees and a couple of shady spots as well, where you can put up your tent or park your car, so the shade's pretty good on the site. Even when we've been here in the winter time, the shade is still pretty good. This is not a lawned campsite, however it is cleared, and the ground is kind of silty, so it's not muddy, etc. if it does get wet. It's quite a flat-ish campsite as well, so it's pretty easy to set up your tent or your caravan or whatever you want almost anywhere on the site. Now, there's no electricity, and there's also no lighting. So there's no lighting whatsoever. You've got to bring your own lighting with you if you desire to have lighting. Mara Camp is a large campsite. Minimum amount of people allowed to camp here is 4, and you must book it for at least 2 days. But it is a really large campsite. You can bring quite a few cars in here, and tents and caravans, etc. It's a really nice large campsite if you're gonna camp as a family or as a group of friends. And also the nice thing is that you're quite far away from the other campsite as well. So if you come here as a group of people, like a family or a group of friends, etc., you don't have to worry too much about your noise carrying to the other campsites. Of course, it is still camping in the bush, and you need to respect the quiet time from 9 p.m. onwards. What can you purchase at Matamba Bush Camp? Not very much. There's no shop here. The nearest place you can purchase stuff is Valwater, which is about 30 kilometers away. You can buy wood on the site, and there's some really fantastic braai wood that makes some great charcoal for your braai. Gate times. You've got to get here before 6 p.m. and let the owners know when you reach Valwater so that they know what time approximately to meet you at the gate. The gate is locked, so you need somebody to let you onto the property. Mara Camp can only be booked by one group. It is an exclusive use campsite, so you book it as a single group. There's a swimming pool at Matamba. It's a fair distance from here. It's about a 15, maybe 20-minute walk to get to the swimming pool. However, there is a swimming pool available for your use, as with the other campsites at Matamba. A great place to hang out next to Mara Camp is Ndege Hide. That's about maybe 500 meters from here. It's a really quick walk to get there. It's a natural pool with a hide, which is really cool because you can sit in the hide in the shade and enjoy the animals that come to drink and do some birding as well. You are allowed to take a splash in that natural pool. I haven't tried it myself, but it does look pretty inviting, especially since it's really hot now. As always, camp management at Matamba is really good. They come daily to come check on you. The camp gets cleaned on a daily basis. It's serviced on a daily basis. You can request for the campsite not to be serviced if you wish not to be disturbed over the couple of days that you are here. What to do at Matamba? Lots of walking trails. You can walk, or you can cycle, or you can jog, for example. There's a number of watering holes, and there are also a number of viewing hides that you can go to. This is a really great site to be active. If you're an active type of person, you want to spend your weekend walking around in the bush and seeing animals relatively close up on foot. Lots of birds as well. It's been quite quiet bird-wise while we've been here, but our previous experience is that there are a lot of birds on the site. We've seen a few this time around, not as many as we usually see. Lots of wildlife to see: wildebeest, impala, zebra, giraffe, kudu, sable, etc, etc, etc. Really quite a bit of wildlife on the site. That's really nice because you can see a lot of it on foot. Something to note though is that there is a gentle slope in a sort of northeasterly direction on the campsite. So it hasn't rained while we're here, but I can imagine that if you do get a downpour, you might get a bit of water flowing out down on the northeastern side of the campsite. So just be careful where you set up your tents depending on what time of year that you are camping here. Now, of course, this is a bush camp, so take reasonable precaution. There is the possibility you could come across a snake, for example, or scorpions or something like that. So try and wear closed shoes at night. We've only seen one scorpion actually in the entire time we've been here over this weekend, but it is a bush campsite, so be sensible. Right, quick recap. What's here? Bathrooms with hot water for showers and a basin, and a flush toilet as well. A fire pit with a grid and a smotherer for when you go to bed at night. Fire beaters and a bucket for water as well. Taps with cold water. Dustbins. A wash-up area with cold water but no hot water. Lots of shade. Lots of walking trails and lots of wildlife to see. What's not here? No electricity. No lighting. You're not allowed to drive around the site. You must park and then walk, cycle, jog, run, do whatever you want to do. Not much in the way of purchaseables, and no lawn. This is not a lawn site. And that's it. Everything else is fantastic. So what type of camp is this for? Basically anybody. You don't need a special car to get here. You don't need special camping gear to be here. There's no electricity, of course, and no lighting, but that's not really a train smash, especially if you're just going to stay for a weekend, i.e. 2 days or maybe a bit more, because minimum of 2 days that you can book. But basically anybody can camp here. Valwater is just about 30 kilometers away if you need supplies, so I think try and make sure that you bring all your stuff that you need with you. If you have no electricity but a really good cooler box, you should easily be able to make a weekend here. Booking is done via email, and I have put a link below with the details. So, would I recommend Mara campsite at Matamba Bush Camp? 100% yes. Love it. Fantastic, beautiful area, well-managed campsite, really easy to get to from Joburg or Pretoria. It's a quick drive for the weekend. 100% recommended. So, hope you found this informative. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Those of you that have subscribed, thank you, appreciate all the support. Leave a comment below, leave a question. If you have a question, I'll be glad to answer whatever questions you guys have, give you a bit more information if you need it. There's also a Buy Me a Coffee link, so if you would like to voluntarily buy me a coffee, please click on the link below and do that too. And until the next episode, go everywhere, see everything, have a great time.